Hi again then guys, and so we've got another GranTurismo 6 top speed tune set up for you today, and this time it's for the Mazda RX-8, but this is the concept version, and this is the Type 1 concept, which is actually a pretty nice looking car. In some ways I think actually a little bit better looking than the actual road version. But you want your racing soft tyres of course. For suspension we've got the ride height on 100, front and rear. For springs, we've got 4 on the front, 450 on the back. Dampers and anti-roll to 4. Camber on 2.5, neutral toe as usual. For the gearbox, we've got the highest possible auto setting. Then for the individual gears, we've got 3.9, 2440, 1700, 1250, 970 and 790 with a final drive of 4. For the diff, low initial torque to reduce wheel spin off the line, high acceleration and low braking sensitivity. All the power upgrades of course, and although I haven't fitted it, as always I would recommend having NOS. And obviously you want the full weight loss package. Traction control is turned off as usual. And so this particular RX-8 has similar specs to the actual premium production RX-8, but it is superior in one particular way, and that is its weight. It is a little bit lighter than the road-going RX-8, which isn't too surprising because of course the concept doesn't have to have all the actual road spec stuff that the actual production car does. And like I said, it's a pretty nice looking car, I think, in some of the little details that they changed for the road model. Not saying that I'm not a fan of the road model, I love the Mazda RX-8. But in some ways, I think this original concept actually is a little bit prettier overall. It has a more smoother overall look. Now, there are 2 versions, of course, of the RX-8 concept. There's the Type 1, which is this one, the original raw concept, which was first introduced on GranTurismo 3. And there's the Type 2, which looks essentially the same as the production version. I haven't done a tune for that one yet. I may end up doing a tune for the Type 2, but from what I can ascertain, the Type 2 is pretty much identical to the production model, whereas this version is genuinely different. And this version is actually slightly quicker than the road version. It sounds different as well, it sounds more like a proper rotary, and the cruising speed is a little bit quicker. Now you may be able to get the premium model to cruise at the same speed as this one, but this one does it more readily. Cruises at about 240 under its own power, which for a car of its power is really impressive. And that's something that both of the Mazda RX models, the RX-8 and the RX-7, share in common. Because they have those great rotary engines, the amount of performance that they get from those engines and from their respective power is really respectable. In the case of this one, around 240. In the case of the RX-7, around 260, 265, depending on the model. So they're very good performance cars all round. You do see far more people using the RX-7, but the RX-8 is a great car in its own right, especially for more power-restrictive racing, because in its class, up against stuff like the NSX, or some Type R models, or the Evo, or the Impreza, it's actually a really competitive model against those slightly lower level performance JDM cars. Not quite the level of obviously a Skyline or a Supra or an RX-7, but more the level of, like I said, an NSX, a Silvia, that kind of thing. And of those more moderate level JDM cars, the RX-8 is pretty much the quickest one you can get in that class, with its only real rival being the NSX, but arguably the NSX should really be on the same level as the Supra and the Skyline. It's just because the tuning is far too limited on this game to make it as fast as it should be. But overall, this car is definitely worth a look if you're looking for a fast RX-7. As far as I can tell, it's the actual quickest version of, or the RX-8 I should say, not RX-7. But as far as I can tell, this is the quickest version of the RX-8. And if you decide to use this tune, of course, I hope you find it fun, and I'm pretty sure it is a very competitive car. I haven't had the chance to use it in racing yet. As far as draft potential, incidentally, you've got a little bit, as you can see. You should be able to draft it up around 250, so just lower the final drive a bit more if you do need more than that, of course. And that's it for this build, so I'll see you guys next time, and as always, Thanks for watching.